Artist spaces are critical centers of opportunity and possibility for neighborhoods. Every self-defined neighborhood really should have several artist spaces in it to be able to help to fertilize the growth of that neighborhood to this higher quality of life that they all aspire to.
This community was pretty bad at one time, and Ashé was the first to move here, and it seemed like all of a sudden we had all these companies and artsy organizations opening up. I've watched it change. It's blooming, you know.
The Ashé Cultural Arts Center is right there, right there. It is art central, it is culture central. They do theater, as well as visual arts, jewelry making, all those different things. The Kumba Institute, which is our cultural arts youth camp, we take ages 6 to 16, and they do poetry classes, dance classes, African drumming classes.
The Ashé is a Yoruba word which means to make something happen, or so be it. It's like equivalent to saying amen. And I've just experienced so many times where Ashé has produced events, or we've been involved in projects that just something magical and something very spiritual always happens. When they opened this space, it was like the only place like it in the whole city. I mean, you know, we have so much culture, but a lot of our culture doesn't have a place to reside in. So this was like one of the first real cultural centers that was really being controlled by someone of African descent.
We started producing and doing community art projects, and I must have spent half of my time trying to negotiate big bar and steel space. You know, a place to practice, a place to exhibit, you know, a place to perform. One of my board members had always pointed out that, you know, all the things that we were doing were really great, but they were all in jeopardy if there wasn't a home in which we could do it. And that we just had to really think about how we were going to maintain a place for us to continue to do what we did.
New Orleans is a cultural mecca. It's a city that is derived of a couple of things: neighborhoods, culture, culture, culture. You know, and having those artist space, having those places to be able to mold the stuff that you've learned from this high. All these kids that we have growing up in the neighborhoods, you know, they start playing tubas when they're 2 years old. They start learning how to be a Mardi Gras Indian, learn how to sew, doing poetry, doing music. So you gotta have a spot for them to take that outlet and let it blossom.
We need a space to go to be able to create work. With Ashé, they're kind of like facilitators for us to be able to create and then be able to do work in the community. You know, it's like they're that support system for the artists in the community.
Since Katrina, it is very significant because culture comes here. Political meetings are held here. Whatever you can think of, whether it's dealt with culture, whether it's dealt with community, whether it's dealt with art, is housed here.
I came back maybe about 2 weeks right after the storm. Ashé was a place to find out everything that was going on, how you can get some aid. You just wanted to get some water. If you just needed a place to come vent and talk to somebody. You know, we all came to Ashé, all the artists. Ashé was the first place that we were able to put on like the first spoken word reading after the storm. And now you got a bunch of poets who didn't have a place to live, and now they're living on top of Ashé.
Now we have spaces where people can live, and we don't think that we ought to have a world that's just ours, that we only live in, but it is really a nice thing to be able to be in a world where there are people who find you the priority, and so that they're really trying to make things work all together for good for you as the artist, you as the culture bearer, you as the social activist that's in the community.
My work with the senior citizens has been phenomenal. We go to them twice a week and we exercise with them, you know, get them moving, and we call it move and groove. So through dance and creative movement, we get them to do exercises.
They always talk about, oh girl, I lost 5 pounds, or oh girl, I can move my legs now, you know, because we push them.
We use the opportunities to use the devices of culture, rituals, celebration, as ways of being able to kind of fertilize, to build bridges, to otherwise support the progressive evolution of community and people in their own personal development.
I just want us to be known out there, not just in New Orleans, not just in Louisiana, but out there, the other parts of the United States. Let everybody know what we're doing because we're making a difference here.
I mean, Ashé is just, I don't know what we do without it, you know? I really don't know. And it's beautiful, look at this. Makes the block look so much better.